the best designed barbarian subclass, nay, the best designed subclass in all of D&D 5e. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Cinder, why would I go with you? Why would I take this voyage into danger, into darkness, into the unknown? Anyway, so we're doing a stream tonight where we're reviewing D&D Homebrew. You haven't been here in a long time? Well, we have missed you, but it's good that you're back. And I hope that you stick around. Well, hopefully this time it actually gets reviewed. But here's the spell I was trying to get reviewed for a month. Ooh. Jay, coming in a little salty. I always say, if you're looking for someone to give you feedback on your creative writing, it's best to come in with a minorly passive-aggressive tone. Let's take a look. Hell Flame Skull. Level 5. 60-foot range, 1 action. What's that material component? 1 human skull and 1 ounce pouch of black powder, which the spell consumes. Oh, you need a human skull every time you cast it. That's cool. By focusing your dark magic, you can conjure up to 3 flaming skulls. For each skull, make a ranged spell attack against a creature you can see within 60 feet. On a hit, the target takes 2d6 fire damage and 2d6 necrotic damage. Huh. So this spell does 6d6 fire damage and 66 necrotic damage? Am I missing something? Is that all it does? It's not that strong for a 5th level spell. Look, if we cast Scorching Ray. So Scorching Ray is 2nd level. For each upcast, we get another ray. So it's 2d6. So this is 2nd level. 2nd level, 3rd level, 4th level, 5th level. So a 5th level Scorching Ray does 12d6 fire damage. This spell for 5th level does 6d6 fire damage and 66 necrotic damage. This spell should be stronger than an upcast Scorching Ray. You could lessen the requirement. Could I challenge you in another direction? Let it do something that isn't just damage. You have this wonderful imagery that you're playing with here. It needs a human skull every time we're using it. We're summoning flaming skulls. Why not let it do a little bit more? Think about what other weird effects you could give this thing. You could do a fear effect. I think a fear effect would make sense. You could do some sort of bane effect, or I wouldn't do exhaustion. Yeah, maybe they're like somewhat hexed for a round or something. No, I don't think petrification would make sense. You could prevent healing, sure. Why do people keep suggesting paralyzed, stunned, petrified? Those are such boring abilities. Play around with letting this do something else other than just damage. 5th level is a fun level spell. You can get weird with 5th level. Modify Memory is a 5th level spell. Dimension Door is a 5th level spell. It could stay in a single place and frighten a creature. That's kind of a neat idea. Okay, when you cast this spell, you summon 3 flaming skulls and make 3 ranged attacks. On a hit, the target takes this much damage. Whether the attack hits or misses, the skull remains floating in the air for a round, or until the end of your next turn. Any creature that starts its turn within 5 feet of it or enters within 5 feet of it has to make a saving throw or becomes frightened. So you cast it, it deals damage, and then it leaves these little warding flares of fear, or something like that. I would like it if the skulls bit down on the creatures. This is a perfect example of really nice flavor for a spell that needs some mechanics to match that flavor. There's literally a floating skull in Pathfinder that does this, then boom, there you go. Path it up. Path of Exile. The Path to El Dorado. Pythagorean Theorem. Pathology. Pathomegamnon. Bartholomew. Parthenon. Patheto. Pathgeti, etc. Pathetic. Coming from skim milk? That's like a piece of paper calling somebody pale. Hey man, listen, if it quacks like a duck and it tastes like water, that's skim milk. All right, let us give Jay a round of applause. Thank you, Jay. Boop, boop, ba-doop, boop, 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 ba-doop, boop, boop, boop. Gladihedral comes along. All my players have custom magic items that are growing with them as they level. This is the one for our barbarian. Ooh, a barbarian magic item. Yes, please. We are currently at a point where the weapons items have become awakened. I think the exalted state could be too much, but I've had people tell me it's okay because barbarians can't cast spells and rage at the same time. If they're casting spells through their item, they can. If they're casting spells through their item, they can. Advertising, how's it going? Advertising, advertising, get your advertisements. 2 advertisements, $1. You want an advertisement? Call your grandma. Call her Samantha. She'll say, I'm not Samantha, and you'll say, quiet, grandma, that's your name. Axe of the Fell Beast. Forged from dark steel and tempered in blood, this great axe fuels the beast within its wielder. Its haft is inlaid with tribal carvings, while the blade itself is etched with gold and silver. Sentient. All right, it's sentient. It's got very high charisma and very high wisdom. It can communicate telepathically, understand Sylvan and Common. We don't really get much of its emotional vibe here, but that's fine. Beasts can understand the meaning of your words, and you have advantage on persuasion checks to influence them. That's fun. You gain a +1 to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. When you score a critical hit with this weapon, choose one of the damage dice. That die is instead treated as if you rolled the highest number possible. I like that quite a bit. I also know a bunch of dungeon masters that use that in general as a rule for critting, but I think it's solid to include as a mechanic. So when it grows, it gets +2. You gain a swim speed equal to your walking speed, and naturally occurring difficult terrain does not affect you. Why are we getting a swim speed? I'm not sure how I feel about that. When a creature you can see within 30 feet of you hits with an attack while you're wielding the great axe, you can use your reaction to move up to your movement speed towards that creature and make an attack using the great axe. If the attack hits, it deals an extra 10 acid damage, and it can't be used again until the next dawn. I like this feature a lot. Why is this doing acid damage? I like the way that this item is growing in a lot of ways, but I do feel like it's like pulling in features that I don't see how they're connecting. Like, I'm not sure why we're getting a swim speed. I'm not sure why it's doing acid damage. It almost feels like you took arbitrary animal features and just sort of mushed them in. So I don't know. Like, I feel like if you took this swim speed out and made it a climbing speed, or if you took this swim speed out and made it like a jump, it wouldn't feel any different, which I don't like. You shouldn't be able to completely change a feature and have it not feel like it's impacting the vibe of the piece. I thought you liked when barbarians had arbitrary animal features. I don't like them when they're arbitrary. I like them when they synergize really well to create the perfect D&D subclass that can manifest the imaginative play of just about anything in D&D that could be considered a brawler or a monster. That is the Beast Barbarian, which is the best designed barbarian subclass, nay, the best designed subclass in all of D&D 5e. Actually, Cinder, I'm pretty sure the Beast Barbarian is not the best designed barbarian subclass in D&D, because it makes it so you have to pick between using weapons or your 3rd level features, and your 3rd level features never gain the ability to be able to overcome resistance or immunity to non-magical attacks. So at higher levels, you're forced to pick between using a subpar subclass feature or magic items, which will no longer have access to your subclass. So actually, you should be the Zealot Barbarian, because technically their 3rd level feature grows with you the best. Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me, Cinder. Yeah, no problem. Okay, let's look at the Exalted. The damage increases to +3. Whenever you have half your maximum hit points, you can make an extra attack as part of the attack action. I would cut that. I don't think it sells fiction. We get a burrow speed. Why are we getting a burrow speed? As an action, you can cast one of the following spells: Summon Beast, Dominate Beast, Shape Beast. Once the spell has been cast using the Great Axe, the spell can't be cast again. Yeah, so you could use any of these during your rage. If you don't want to be able to use them during your rage, I wouldn't do that. Guy, why aren't we getting any features that tie into being a barbarian? This is a barbarian specialty item. Let's boost our barbarian powers. Or if you want to give us weird extra spells and stuff we could do, give them to us earlier. I think my main piece of feedback is I don't know what fiction this magic sword is trying to sell. I'm not sure what this being is. It seems like it's like a fae creature, the spirit of the Hanged Man Arcana, but like I'm not feeling anything specific. It feels sort of like random features. I think if your goal is to give your Beast Barbarian more options and utility, and you want to do that through spells, give the spells earlier. But I also think that if your goal is just to make a cool weapon that will make your barbarian feel cool, I would encourage you to tie the features more intricately into some of the barbarian features. Maybe things activate when you rage. Maybe it gives you an extra use of your rage. Maybe your danger sense doesn't just work for dexterity. Now your danger sense works for wisdom saving throws too. You know, you can do all sorts of stuff if you want to be focused real tight on a barbarian. I wish this had more of a consistent through line of flavor. That's what I think I would focus on if I were you. Try to figure out what this thing is and build it to be doing that thing. And if you don't know what I mean by that, just take a look at any of the vestiges of divergence in the Wildmount campaign book. The goggles, you get better vision and perception. You can start to see invisible stuff. You can start to see through stuff. And then at higher levels, you can see through illusions really well. And the odd thing is you get anti-magic field once per day. But like they logically build into each other. Earth elementals do acid to burrow through rocks? No, they do not. But I appreciate the enthusiasm with a wrong piece of information. Big fan of misinformed enthusiasm. Let us give our creator Gladihedral a big round of applause. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Gladihedral. Glad is Hedro. Da 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 da.